No, you can see he's just relaxing a little bit, bringing it home. He knows he's got a comfortable gap. He can just cruise around this last lap, as this man's doing, with a 7.8 second gap at the front of the field. Ralph Fernandez.
When they go out, we are underway in the Grand Prix of Aragon, and it's another good start from Sam Lowes. He's been getting better and better at that as the season has gone on, and he's going to lead them down into turn one. But Gardner in second place, Fernandez in third. Coming through Ayagura, that looked like, from the second row of the grid, and Agura's up into fourth spot, with Garso dropping back to fifth.
The drag race down to turn one, Sam managed that perfectly. Always difficult to choose your braking marker whenever you're coming a lot slower than normal, but excellent first turn. No, there was a little bit of contact mid-pack, but it's a clean little first lap.
That's what we like to see as they head up the hill through turn 6, pass through here, and then again as you're on the lead, braking into turn 7's got many people out already this weekend. We ride on board with the championship leader, Remy Gardner, 44 points, the advantage over his teammate Ralph Fernandez, who's tracking him in these early laps. They drop down into the corkscrew for the very first time.
Sam trying to do what he done here last year, make a break right out of the block. So you heard from Alex Lowes trying to keep him calm if he wasn't in this scenario, but obviously when he's at the head of the field, get his head down, and he's immediately braking Remy Gardner. You can see used a little bit of tyre around turn 10, jumped away from him, but look at Ralph Fernandez making a move on his teammate.
Here he is up through turn 12. Ralph Fernandez knows he needs to make progress in these early laps, because later on not only is he going to suffer with the tyre, he's going to suffer with that broken bone in his right hand. Remy Gardner throwing shapes as he drops it down the hill. He's just being cautious at the moment. He's got a championship lead to look at. As Aki Ayo said on the grid, be smart. And if he sticks there with Raul, Sam's not a danger for him in terms of the championship, and that's not a bad place to be. He can just track his teammate. As we come down the back straight for the first time, Sam Lowes leading by about half a second from Raul Fernandez. You've got to manage your tyres. You have to nurse them through this 21 lap race, and when Lowes crosses the line, still 20 to go.
Perfect track conditions, actually 34 degrees on the ground, so that actually means you can activate the tyre right from the first lap. Look at Garzo.
Garzo was going to go through there on the inside of Ayagura at turn 1. We've already had a double long lap penalty handed out for Peter Bizikerski, and I believe that must have been for the move yesterday when he was on track. And I thought it was a bit strange actually for me. Oh, it was a jump start. There we are. I'm going to say I haven't seen anything from the stewards on that one, but a jump start, and so the pole is about to get a double long lap penalty.
Yeah, he had that coming together with Fermin Aldeguer in the last corner, but it wasn't anything he had done wrong. So double long lap penalty, that pretty much ruins his race. He will be at the back of the field, but look at the ground made up by Ralph Fernandez in sector 1. So Sam had an awesome first lap and give himself a little bit of daylight between the Red Bull machines behind, but immediately they've jumped, they've pounced, they knew they couldn't let Sam get away.
Yeah, and I think also for Lowes in that situation, get out, do a fast first lap, but then settle into a rhythm where you know you're not in the melee, you know you're not being dive bombed on every corner, because we have seen that, haven't we, from Sam in some of these races where the management of tyres is crucial, where he might get eaten up in the first laps and perhaps leaves himself a little bit too much to do.
Yeah, that's the hard thing in Moto2, to make your way through the field when you're all in similar horsepower engines. It's hard to make those overtakes. You don't have an advantage that much around here. The margins are so small, so yeah, you've got to be in track position is oh so important at the start of the race. If you're way at the head of the field, all of a sudden your day got a lot easier.
Jorge Navarro's made it through on Albert Arenas. I'm impressed by Arenas this weekend, but also by Jorge Navarro, of course, who finished on the podium in the British Grand Prix. Has looked good. Blotted his copybook with a couple of crashes, one at turn 14 and one in the warm-up actually, which was tricky in the foggy conditions this morning. A little bit of moisture on track. He went out at the final corner, but he definitely has pace, and somehow that speed-up bike, that Bosco bike, should I say, for the speed-up team, somehow seems to be able to manage the tyre.
It does, and you look at those machines, you've got actually it's Albert Arenas now cutting in under. You don't often see Albert up in there in the mix, so he's made a step this weekend. He's close to that lead group, but actually hampering Navarro's forward progress there. So if they battle too much, they will lose contact with the back of Hector Garzo.
The thing about this for Sam Lowes is he can be as smooth as he likes now, can't he? We talk about him and trail braking late on, but if he can have that room out there front, not dice, he can take his own lines and manage the tyre, manage this race as he sees fit from the front. Arenas, of course, had that softer option front tyre in. That probably helps him in these early stages, get some of these dive bomb moves get done. It was a textbook start from Lowes. He's sorted that out in the last 3 races, hasn't he?
just in the middle of the pack. I think it was Augusto Fernandez give Marcos Ramirez a little bit of a tap wide. We're on board with Aaron Canet. That is Ramirez in the left of shot. So,
Vierge right around the outside.
So yeah,
it's Bezzecchi actually.
Bezzecchi and Vierge. That's what it's like on lap 1 in most races. Bikes going from left to right and right to left as Bezzecchi fights back up the hill. Absolutely
clobbered each other, didn't they? Sideswipe. However, thankfully, they're both okay. I'm surprised about Bezzecchi, 11th in these early stages. Another one who should come good as the race goes on. He's had great pace all weekend. Messed up a little bit in qualifying. Down in 9th, he qualified on the 3rd row of the grid. But the likes of him and Fabio Di Gianantonio do have pace. Remember, Bezzecchi was leading this race last year, in quite a way on actually, quite a surprise, and then unfortunately crashed out as Remy Gardner runs it a little bit wide and Ayagura elbows his way through.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I actually made the move on the way in. It looked, I just was looking for that overhead shot. You could see Remy struggling to pull it down, so immediately fights back on Ayagura as Raul Fernandez slides nicely up the inside of Sam Lowe's. A good clean move. So Raul obviously not feeling any ill effects from that broken 5th metacarpal on his right hand.
Yeah, so Fernandez, who was strong in Moto3 here last year, went on to the podium, having started in pole position, takes over at the front, but we do remind you, broke his 5th metacarpal on the outside of his right hand in a cycling accident last Sunday, as we've had Bizakerski go down now. So Bizakerski crashing out, looks like turn 14 maybe. Yeah, there it is, down the hill. Don't worry, you're not the first to do it. Marc Marquez went down there earlier this weekend, but the Polish rider is out of the race. So it's Fernandez now leading from Sam Lowe's in 2nd place, with Remy Gardner back into 3rd. He made that move on Agura at turn 1, with Hector Garzo a surprise. Really came to the fore actually during qualifying yesterday, after he made it through from Q1 up into Q2. He's tagging on nicely to the back of this front group. As we look at Sam Lowe's closing in, just a quick word on the other Brit. John McPhee is in a battle there, actually with Hafiz Sharin, Bo Bensonader, Xavi Cardelus, all of them seasoned Moto2 campaigners.
Yeah, perfect for John. He just needs to get in there, stuck in with him throughout the race and learn. As we've seen Remy Gardner making a mistake downhill at turn 12, Sam was in deep, Remy followed him in even deeper, run out onto the green paint, lost that position to Ayagura, but lost track space, and he's going to get attacked here from Hector Garzo. Garzo's got the run down the back straight.
I think we might have lost Vierge. I think we might have lost Xavi Vierge, just trying to scan up the lap to go in the Moto2 Grand Prix of Aragon. There you can see, even in the same shot, Gardner and Fernandez 2nd and 3rd, with Navarro just back there in 4th spot now. Is there anything he can do to taste some podium champagne today? I think Fernandez might just have broke him at the right time.
This is the part of the racetrack where Navarro was strong in the last time round. He did manage to claw back a little bit, a couple of tenths, but Sector 3 belongs to Augusto Fernandez, so he needs to get in front now of this part of the racetrack, but I don't think he's close enough up into 7. That would be a big risk to pull that one off.
John McPhee made it past Xavi Cardelus on that last lap, so he's up into 20th position. You said top 20 before the weekend. That would be a good result. He's still got a battle on his hands, though. Further down the order, honourable mentions to the like of Fermin Aldeguer there in 9th place. Tony Arbolino, who's made it all the way through to 10th also. That's a great ride, actually, from Tony, who started way down in 23rd on the grid. But Augusto Fernandez looks like he's done enough to hold off Jorge Navarro for the final spot on the podium. As we head into turn 12 for the final time, there's going to be no way through, surely, for Jorge Navarro. They are closing all the time on Remy Gardner, but Gardner in turn not able to do enough to prevent his teammate from winning this Moto2 Grand Prix.
No, you can see he's just relaxing a little bit, bringing it home. He knows he's got a comfortable gap. He can just cruise around this last lap, as this man's doing, with a 7.8 second gap at the front of the field. Raul Fernandez, impeccable today.
Absolutely superb ride from Raul Fernandez. It's his 5th victory in Moto2, the first rider in their rookie season to take 5 wins since Marc Marquez did so back in his first year of Moto2. Raul Fernandez comes to the line and takes victory despite having a broken bone in his right hand. Remy Gardner takes 2nd place for 20 points. And